From the center of the galaxy, this right here is ForceCenter, a show about Star Wars pop culture, the old adventure, going live on a Monday in life itself. I'm Ken Napstock.
I'm Jen Landa.
I'm Joseph Scrimshaw, and I'm alive on a Monday.
Alive and electrified. We've got some Star Wars questions. Thank you to all of you joining live or those listening or watching later. Marjo's here. 8984M, though now his username is 889884M. Brady, I love it. Michael McCarcel, Gaz Nottingham, so many others here as well. Amaranth, Serenity Jane checking in. We got a great question here today we're going to get to shortly. We do want to remind you that today's show is brought to you by our merch shop at Fourth Wall. You can click the links down below if you're watching on YouTube, or go to fourthwall-shop.forcecenter.com or whatever it is. It changes in my brain every week. New items were added recently, like pint glasses, coasters, and many other things. Check it out. And if there's something you want, let us know. We'll add it to the shop. 898 Firm says all of our original usernames are showing. Oh, that's scary. That's scary.
Like, these are YouTube usernames?
Yeah.
Right.
Huh.
So everybody, weird. Yeah, they don't. Do they normally have the @ I don't feel like they normally have the @ on them.
That's kind of been new too. This has happened some other times too. Yeah, see, there's David Mackay's Channel 19.
This is really
now I know all of you.
I feel like we're at a costume ball.
Yes.
We recognize our friends with their masks on. Yeah.
Okay, we can.
Hello, General Cameroni. Cameron Stewart, General Cameroni says, yeah, like reverted.
I love that name. I want to be General Macaroni.
Tasty waffle. Everybody had food-based names back in the day, apparently.
This is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary. Truths are coming out.
And Igor the Man, nice and consistent, just underscores back in the day. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful. Amazing. At Richie Photo, Eyes Wide Shut. Oh no, wrong podcast. Yep. There's the high button. All right. Shall I get to our question of the day?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I can't even remember how I interpreted this question for the thumbnail. It's about Star Wars sounds in real life, I believe. This came to us as all of them from questions are from patrons on Patreon. So thank you to those of you who have asked questions. If you feel like you have a good question for this kind of format, slightly longer conversation and room for chat to share their opinion, all that kind of thing, feel free to put it on the Patreon page. And thank you as always to everyone for sharing a little bit of the why of the question. This gun comes to us from Brandy Kaler, who says, "Greeting Force Center friends. As I was thinking back on the past, this question came to mind. Have you ever heard a sound in our world that made you think of Star Wars or sounded like it came from a Star Wars movie? I came upon this question while thinking back to when I was diagnosed with my seizures. I'm happy to report that I outgrew them when I was 12. When I first went to a neurologist for testing, I had an EEG and an MRI. While having the MRI, I remember hearing the doctor ask if I could hear anything, and I remember telling him, I hear lightsabers. My mom told me afterwards that everyone in the room was confused, even though I did hear the sound of lightsabers clashing. And ironically, I had never seen a Star Wars movie. My first Star Wars movie was when I was 9 years old and saw The Phantom Menace in theaters with my mom, our old neighbor, and his son. This was the year after I'd been diagnosed with the seizures, so thinking back on it really shocks me. I don't remember anyone in my house watching Star Wars, so I'm not sure how my 8-year-old brain knew that the sounds I heard during my MRI were clashing lightsabers. But now I'm curious if you have ever heard a sound and went, that's in a Star Wars movie. Thank you for answering my question and my other questions, and may the Force be with you. Thank you, Brandy, not only for the question, but for sharing this life experience. It's a little bit different, but this reminds me of a story I think I told before. My friend had a surgical procedure, like not anything life-threatening, and was very out of it when he came out of the surgery and was mumbling something very important. And it turned out to be, where's my lightsaber? I need my lightsaber. And the doctor, the nurse didn't know Star Wars and had to ask his wife, who did not like Star Wars, What is he talking about? She's like, it's some Star Wars thing. And he's like, it's a lightsaber. It is the weapon of a Jedi. So, Brandy, you're not alone in thinking about lightsabers in some way during stressful medical times. So I think we can take this conversation lots of ways. Obviously, the very direct question of hearing Star Wars sounds in the real world, but also just a general conversation, since we haven't had one in a while, about Star Wars sounds and what we love and why. Jen, have you heard Star Wars in the real world like Brandy?
I have heard Star Wars, and it has been driving me cuckoo. I have tried to research it, and I can't. Maybe you all know. There is a bus that bus sound, that the sound the bus makes when it goes by, and it goes, which immediately I think of the pod racers, right? It's that
Naturally.
specific sound. And I looked it up, and every time I don't get that. They're like, oh, different vehicles went into it. Someone's mentioned like F1 racing or something. But I'm like, did they isolate that sound of the bus? And I don't know what the bus is doing to make it make that sound. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I
Denver?
mean, I think it is just like the sound of a big engine, like a hefty engine, rather. Like, obviously I know F1 racers have good engines, but like the difference between an engine designed for speed and an engine designed to haul a lot of weight. I wonder if that's some of what went into it, of like, yeah, they're fast, the pod racers, but they shouldn't just sound sleek, because also they're huge and chunky like a bus, the engines themselves.
Yeah. I look like a crazy person, though, because every time I hear it, I'm like, like this. This is where? And then I get
Gascano,
excited.
are you
I'm
there,
like,
Gascano?
yeah. Oh, and nobody knows. This is the only place I can talk to about this. Thank you. Thank you, Brady.
Brady is the best bus rider I know. He always knows his way around the city via bus. So he's with you on that. The rapid bus sound.
It's the rapid bus. Yeah, because not all buses produce this sound. Okay, we're getting closer.
That's what I was going to ask. It's not like school bus. It's city bus, rapid bus.
Yeah, the rapid. Mm-hmm.
Okay. An Amaranth sound says air brakes do sound like pod racers.
Okay.
Very, very good. Yeah. And this is a slightly different, but I want to make sure we share it. Maddie Mourner says, pretty sure I've been told I make noises that sound like a rancor while I sleep.
I do enjoy that Maddie Gutter's messed up YouTube name is just great branding for his band. Thank you, Maddie, for keeping it consistent.
Yep. And General Cameroni says Subulbus.
Subulbus.
When you have multiple subulbas in one place, that's a subulbus. That's a great one. So, Jen, is it like the way you're describing it? It's like, is it surprise or is it like delight when you hear the pod racer sound?
It is. At first, I was concerned the first time. I'm like, okay, this is not good. I'm hearing Star Wars noises everywhere. Like I'm too steeped in it. And then I heard it again, and I'm like, okay, this is just me being a nerd and getting excited. I get excited when I hear it.
I think it's great. Ken, where do you hear Star Wars in the real world?
This one's one of the toughest questions I ever got. I don't hear a lot of sounds. In fact, pulling back the curtain, one of the reasons maybe the last my relationship ending and had some tension in it is I hear no sounds. She was bothered by every sound. So I just like, she'd be like, do you hear that? I'd be like, yeah, I do hear it. Drown it out. Stop listening to it. Move on to other things. It was not good. So I don't hear a lot of sounds, but I dug into my soul and I didn't find one. Our Chihuahua, Frances, when she gets a little agitated / little zoomies, she makes the tauntaun sound, and it was my favorite thing. And I miss her dearly, and I get her back maybe in a month. And it was just that constant. It was just she just be on the couch, just like ow, 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 just that tauntaun gurgle. And I don't know if I'm sure our other two Chihuahuas didn't really have that sound, but it might be a common Chihuahua sound. I don't know if yours growing up, Joseph, did, but just to have a little tauntaun in our couch.
It was the first thing on my list because it was the earliest, like, oh my God, Star Wars. And it was, so I had a Chihuahua growing up that we got when I was 14. His name was Nico. And he was a quirky, weird sweetheart. It was very much like a boy and his dog. My relationship with him. So he was a real sweetheart. He loved to cuddle with me. But at some point in his life, I think somebody very sadly must have kicked him from behind or that. Because when you were petting him, he'd be so happy, he'd want it, and you would have to stop at an exact spot on his back, because if you went too far on his back, he would suddenly lose his little chihuahua mind, and it would be tauntaun time.
Yeah.
Tauntaun time.
I never did it on purpose. I never did it to torment him, because obviously I loved him. But every once in a while, I'd accidentally go past the tauntaun line in the petting, and suddenly he'd be like, and he turns around and tries to bite something, and it was so fast and so angry. And we would warn vets, hey, you got to be really careful with him, because he seems like a sweetheart and he's a little dog. And they'd be like, hey, yeah, I know, I just had a Doberman in here, I think I'm okay. And they would touch past the tauntaun line, and he'd go full tauntaun and get him.
Yeah, that's the sound. Good. Okay, so I'm not alone. Not alone.
No.
Not alone. What did someone tauntaun Owawa?
Yeah.
Tauntaun.
Yeah.
It's tauntaun time.
I will say, though, I do love making Star Wars sounds. So I am one of the ones that, not only the lightsaber, the blaster sounds, but every once in a while, I'll get in my car and get on that freeway on-ramp and start making X-Wing or TIE Fighter sounds or Y-Wing sounds and hyperspace sounds, and just kind of entertain myself on a freeway drive, because I need that, I guess, apparently. I enjoy that.
I'm not going to attempt our friend's old school username here. But our pilot friend says, one of the reasons I became a pilot is because I love the Falcon and the X-Wings, along with their sounds. And I'll never forget sitting in a DC-9 for the first time. The APU and the engines spool up. It's the same turbine whine you hear with these ships. From then on, I was hooked with aviation and the sound of jet engines. Yeah, that's very cool. And I'm certainly not myself knowledgeable enough to know which part of the engine. But that's another one that I think the sort of the various machinery that I hear. There is a noise that one of my backup drives, I've got 5 backup drives for the terabytes of information that it takes to edit a film. And they all make similar but different noises. And some of them sound like the whir of the carbon freezing equipment when it is moving to pick up Han. And every once in a while, I'm kind of creeped out and depressed and feel like I've made a bad life decision. And it's it's because my backup drive is making that whine that disappears when Vader's helmet is put on in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And sometimes on landing gear on a jetliner, sounds like it just belongs in Star Wars, like it's some trash compactor door moving.
We got some other animal related thoughts as well. Yeah. Feel free to share any of those, Ken.
Where did that one go? Cameron said, my parents' current poodle, toy poodle, growls like Wicket does. Coincidentally, looks like an Ewok. Lost a campaign to name him Wicket. That might be a tough sell if they're not Star Wars fans.
Ken, are there any other places where you feel like you hear Star Wars or want to hear Star Wars?
Not off the top of my head. Doors opening. But see, I also go to I'll hear doors opening or something. I go to Hitchhikers as well. I'm waiting for the door to talk to me, which might happen sooner than later. Who knows? But yeah, any kind of industrial location, walking in the corridors of malls, the dark, dank pits behind the malls that you all don't see. There's a lot of sounds, a lot of pipes moving, things moving through pipes. So it feels like Cloud City or Jabba's Palace. I don't imagine myself being in happy Star Wars places, I guess, apparently. Just in the pits.
The echoing term. Well, what is a happy Star Wars sound? Obviously, the engines of our favorite ships, you could describe as a happy sound. But yeah, a lot of the sounds of Star Wars are either cool, but many of them are menacing.
Mm.
Yep. Menacing sounds.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't have any. Are there? What are the happiest Star Wars sounds?
Mm.
Yeah. Yub nub.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hear sounds in everything, Star Wars sounds. So like when I'm wheezing and I'm coughing, that's my favorite because I think of General Grievous. Right?
Mm,
Love that.
mm,
It's so ridiculous. Or like the sound of the varactyl, that like high pitched sound, I will sometimes
Mhm.
hear it, and I don't know what makes it. It can anything can make it. It could be a vehicle. It could be like you squeaking on the floor, and I'll hear that or whatever. I can't even do it.
Mhm.
Um,
That's you know what? I'm so glad you brought that up. That's one of the great like evolutions of like we need another animal noise and we need it to be different. And Boga the
mm,
Fractal is so different and so high pitched. And I remember people, some people I worked with briefly, and you worked with them a lot more, Ken. Uh, really making fun of that sound. One of the
mm,
examples, of why
mhm,
prequels are so dumb. Remember that lizard that makes that stupid sound? And almost every time I
mhm.
watch it, like, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you talking about? It's an amazing sound. It's an amazing sound. You know?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Of all the things of the prequels to hate on, sound design is not one of them.
Yeah. In the
There's a
Fractal,
lot of
in
other things
particular,
I can
it's
go,
so
oh,
good.
all right, I see your point. Yeah. But
Got that great sort of echoing harmonic, that high pitched, like,
mhm.
it's a great take on not having every, beast of burden be super low pitched.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The ego's right. We stand Boga the Fractal in this chat.
That's right.
uh, Svetnik says, I love that whooping weirdo.
That's it.
People brought up many good happy noises. Maddie Mourner, Utini. Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Utini, very, very good. Ochi fan 327 says R2D2's beeps are happy sounds, so are BB hates normally. That's true.
Mm,
Very, very
mm,
good sounds.
mm.
Yeah, I think I don't know what in the real world it reminded me of. Maybe my old Ford Fairmont, but I really love the sound of the diplomatic barge at the beginning of Attack of the Clones. I think that has got a great, different sort of stuttery, engine sound, which I really, really like.
Yeah, again, the sound design in the prequels, man, just some of my favorite stuff. So, but I'd like to hear more of that in the real world. Let's go hang out at airports, find Padme's ship at airports.
It is really. My dad has this 1950 Chevrolet panel truck that was originally a milk truck, and I recorded a bunch of that engine to see if I could use it anywhere because it's that kind of mechanical thing of like nothing else sounds quite like it. I think those unique vehicles before we made cars nice and quiet.
Yeah. Igor asks, well, Igor has another comment here. One of my coworkers has the Imperial klaxon alarm, his text ringtone, and it just went off. Oh, there you go. That's definitely Star Wars sounds in the real world. I didn't know that was an office thing. Igor says, do we want to include music in the sound discussion? It counts, suppose.
What, Ken, was there a time that you heard music that is not Star Wars that made you think it's Star Wars?
Not off the top of my head, but anytime I'm in a bar and there's some music in the background and I can't hear my thoughts, I do wish Wuhair was there yelling at me. It does. Again, it's more vibes and sounds and sound effects that I'm reacting to. It's more just feeling you're in Star Wars. That's the fun of, again, pretending you're an X-Wing while you're driving your car, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I think of that often in a crappy bar, like especially like I've mentioned before, but the Double Down in Las Vegas, which is not it's the cantina, and it's fun to walk in. It needs some jizz wailing in the corner.
How about you, Jen? How does music in the real world does real world music sound like Star Wars music to you?
I don't know if real world music sounds like it, but I'm always hearing the music. Right now, I was just hearing in my head, dun, 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 dun. Like, why?
Just going
Well,
over.
because you're talking about the cantina, and I'll just be walking somewhere, or even Like if you're suddenly like if I feel like I'm wearing like a big coat and just dumb. Why do I do this? Dun 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 dun, dun right? Just because I feel more menacing. I'm wearing a big blazer. I create my own soundtrack.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, sad.
I remember like a couple times when I was very young, hearing, classical music of any kind and be like, is it? Is it Star Wars? And like, so close, but not. And really enjoying, my wife and her whole family are classic music fans. And we tried to go to make a point of going to some Hollywood Bowl shows that are classical, and just hearing that relationship. Obviously, I experienced Star Wars first, but the historical order is, of course, classical music. John Williams' wonderful score. But I have a lot of fun thinking about that and hearing that. And the Imperial March is like that, very inspired by other marches. And I've definitely known grumpy people who said, who cares about the Imperial March? You just ripped it off from all these other, like, yeah, but no.
Yeah.
Not exactly ripped off, and context matters.
And it's good. So don't worry.
It's real good. It's real good.
That is good.
Yeah. My only other sound that I've heard in the real world sometimes where I get excited is I don't like it when I buy things and they come packed in styrofoam, but I'd rather not have that be the packing material. But every once in a while I get something packed in styrofoam, and when I'm trying to pull it out, it'll squeak just right to sound like the dry lightning on Exegol, which is one of my favorite Star Wars sound designs.
Whoa.
That's a great sound design gathering tip then.
Yeah.
Pull a hot toy out of a box.
Out of a box of styrofoam. Yep. Well, it looks like people are sharing some great places they hear Star Wars and music and favorite sound cues. So, Ken, is there anything you see that you'd like to share?
Svetnik Ethan says, if we're including music, then Attack the Clones, the electric guitar wailing near the chase scene in Coruscant is awesome. And there you can hear that everywhere. Yeah. I still think some of Williams' best work is in the prequels there too. So let's go retroactively argue with these people in our past shows. I love that electric guitar sound there. It added a new wrinkle that easy now pick up in our real world.
I think for guitar sounds, I think a lot about the sound cue in Return of the Jedi when Vader or Anakin has just died, and we hear that really soft, I think it's guitar, might be another instrument version of the Imperial March.
Right.
Like
little string plucking. Yeah,
little string plucking. So sad and beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely great little moment. Favorite little moments of Star Wars music pop in. Yep.
I don't know if these are good things, but about the dry lightning on Exegol, Igor the Mad says that lightning sound makes my teeth hurt. And Amaranth says, "Oh, that's why the Exegol dry lightning hurts my ears." I mean, it's such a fun thing. It's like, hey, we want to make an upsetting noise, and then it's like, okay, well, we did. Congratulations. Now do people really want to listen to it? I do. I don't know. There's something wrong with me.
I love it. Yeah, I'm with you too. Again, as I said up top, sounds very rarely bother me. Very rarely do I even hear sounds or register that they're going on around me. So sorry, but I like Palpatine. Like his lightning.
And dry Exegol lightning feels like something I'm going to see an ad for while watching cable television. This can be healed. Do you have dry Exegol lightning? We can fix that.
Podcast sponsor.
Yep.
Use promo code ForceCenter. Get 10% off your dry lightning. Have it for your breakfast. Do you see other things that you'd like to grab and share there, Ken? Jeff, you got one too. But Amaranth, when I bother to drag out my big vacuum, all the noises are set up like plastoid trooper armor. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
And Baritone Lad says the version of the Imperial March that I'm talking about is played on harp. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, when back in the uniform days, when I put on the Sam Brown belt, which had all the your gear on it and all that stuff, like it always made me even the sounds, the rustling of it, kind of when Han and Luke are putting on the utility belts post trash compactor. So it's not even stormtroopers, it's just them putting it on. things dangling, your flashlight dangling, hitting your leg, all that kind of stuff. Not that I want to associate with the trooper armor, but you know what I mean. Darth Vader.
Harp Vader. Oh, yes. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Jen, if you see anything you'd like to share, go for it.
This Amaranth's maybe probe droids. That's one of my favorite Star Wars sounds. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, I love that. I think I had that as like an alert at one point.
Yeah, that is a great one. That is like, what if fax machines sounded awesome? Like, it's got that sense of information being, processed and sent out.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Igor the Mad's got this another great sound. Watt Tambor messing with his knobs and getting feedback that feels like a species version of chewing your mouth open. I love that little detail. I love that little detail.
So good. That is so good. Yeah, and I wonder what came first. It's like I can see like a production designer just like, we gave him knobs, but at what point did George or somebody else go, hey, what if we played with him just to give Ben more work?
Yeah. Well, again, the 50s aesthetic is all through that movie, right? And you got this robot with radio frequency voice. But techno,
50s alien. Yeah, like let me adjust my vocoder so I can speak to the humans of Earth.
Yep. Absolutely. Love that. Again, sound design in the prequels. Baritone Lad.
Oh, yeah.
Which could be a new listener or someone with a username we've never seen before. Sorry that YouTube is doing this to all of you. AT or at hydraulic sounds are amazing. Yeah, I agree with that too. And I'm sure there's things, and I know it's obviously real world based, but I'm sure there's things we can find out there. And it's just so wonderfully intimidating. Every thud and clank sounds very final if you're in its path.
Maddie Warner. Is this a Maddie that we know?
Maddie Gunner.
Is it Maddie Gunner? Okay. Mouse droids make me chuckle every time. I really think that Star Wars Disney should put out a Roomba, but make it a mouse droid. Like, how cute would that? I would pay money for that, right?
Yeah.
And it does like the little sounds. Like, stop it. They should have like a homeware line.
As someone with a Roomba that doesn't always follow my rules, it's perfect for the mouse droid.
Right.
It's always just there, kind of a nuisance.
Yeah, and then it's cute. It's like a cute little decoration you can have out.
It's cute.
Yeah.
And I want to growl at it like Chewie.
Yeah. The mouse droids are strangely cute for being little space Nazi robots. Just like to have that aesthetic in the Death Star, it's fun. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh, we have our answer. Okay. We where did it go? God, the chat. Baritone Lad says, long time listener, first time joining live due to evening commitments here in the UK. Well, there you go.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for the harp information. I have loved that sound cue for a long time and never known what actual instrument it is. So thank you so much. Since we're sharing things that Maddie Warner said, a little bit more on the emotional side of what you hear. He says, I do hear Anakin's dark deeds in my head whenever someone wrongs me. Jen shared about her big coat soundtrack that plays in her own head. Ken, do you think of Star Wars sound cues music when you do specific things?
No, well, if I do think of music in my head, if I'm entering a room, it's usually pro wrestling related. So I should probably switch it to Star Wars. I got entrance music into every room in my house in my brain. But yeah, I definitely would. I should make a list so I can switch to that because that's more fun at this point. Less problematic.
Similar to Maddie, I don't know the official title for it, but the strings cue in Attack the Clones when Anakin looks up for poor departed Shmi and is making the decision to go wild on the Tusken village. Working with the composers in the past, I've been like, hey, can you give me some of those crazy strings? Like, what are you talking about?
Crazy strings.
It's like, it's a standard musical format. Crazy strings. I hear it in my head when I get upset. And maybe you're going to make a bad choice. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I always have to send them the attack like this. Crazy strings.
Crazy strings, which is also a great candy at a carnival. So Colt says, for me, it's garbage day. Here in the trucks, dumping trash puts me on the Death Star in the compactor. Yeah, the trash compactor might be one that connects into the real world real easily here. Tully says all the various noises Obi-Wan makes to scare off the Tuskens. But are you making them, Tully? Is there something that you're hearing that makes you think of that? Or you just want to do Krat Dragon calls all around your house?
That's amazing. Yeah, a lot of great thoughts in the chat here.
I love this. The Jedi steps every time I go up a big flight, Amaranth. Yes. Dun, 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 dun. That'll make me approach it more happily.
Ding, ding.
Yeah.
That was my alarm for a long time till I got in trouble for having that. So I had to switch it to silence. But yes, it's a great wake up thing too.
That's a great wake up one. I'm going to change mine. It'll motivate me.
It's great because it starts slow. Yeah. Then you're up. Then you're like going to face your destiny.
And you don't make any negative associations with it from having it be the sound that's waking you up?
I didn't.
Okay.
But
oh man!
Fair enough.
Eventually, my wake up alarm had to be silence. It had to be a silent vibrating phone.
Look, this is
woke up? That's impressive.
It's a part of relationships. I would get I would start to get a negative association. Like then when the next time I watch The Force Awakens, I'd be like, why is this movie trying to make me do something I'm not ready to do? But this isn't Star Wars. This is a relationship center. For quite a while, my wife just had birds, like little birds chirping is her alarm. Which was kind of effective because it sounded very similar to the actual birds outside who would wake up. But then I think the birds started getting annoyed by it and started making noises at it. And I just started feeling like every time I hear a bird, I'm in the uncanny valley. I don't know what's real. Is that coming from a phone? Is that coming from outside? And so eventually I didn't get angry. We had a conversation. So eventually she switched it out.
I wonder, psychologically, is it better to have something happy and uplifting as your alarm? Or is it better to have something like what I have now, which is like that, it's like that loud crashing sound that Apple has on their iPhones, which is worse, which is better, rather.
Yeah.
I don't want anything that would sound like it's an alarm on an Imperial space station or anything like that.
Yeah. I have the like, I think it's the old car horn. Yeah. Done. Apple sound. Yep. Because I just want it's not a happy time.
No.
Yeah, no.
It's functional for me. Jen, would you like the Ewok horn to battle for your wake up call?
That'd be good.
Wait a minute. Now I think I need to change. My husband's going to be like, "What is going?" He's not going to be happy. But honestly, it would be good. And then maybe I should do that for my kids.
That's it's for your kids.
Alarm.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
I'm going to do it.
So one thing I regret with the cultural change to completely silent phones, which I endorse. My phone is always on silent. I don't use any tones for anything. But I used to have a large collection of Star Wars text tones and stuff and alarms and set it to personal. Like, ooh, Joseph's texted me. I've got the Cackling Emperor or something like that. I do miss that.
My mom was Darth Vader. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you have the Imperial March or Darth Vader sound when she texted?
Wait, I can't remember if I had both. I did have both at one time somehow. Oh man. No, I think it was the Imperial March for her when she called me.
That's really funny in the context of things that you put in a fictional setting that seem over the top and then they're not in the real world. I did a show for many years called Adventures in Mating, which is about a couple on a date, and it was a choose your own adventure show, so the audience could vote on what happens. And the last choice was the date's going terrible, and the guy's phone goes off, and it's the Imperial March out of nowhere. And I wrote it in the era where we had ringtones, so it was the joke was that means it's my wife, and he's supposed to be on this date, and then the audience gets to vote whether he answers it or not. Yeah, and I did that show.
Wow.
I did the show so long that it was like it started to didn't make sense anymore because people didn't have personalized ringtones anymore. But that's amazing after all these years to know that you really did have the Imperial March as a personalized ringtone for a complicated person in your life.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, boy.
General Cameron.
My text tone used to be Vader yelling, "What?"
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Yep.
Oh gosh, that's great.
I would consider that as a wake-up tone. What?
Yep.
Svetnik, my last ringtone was the Emperor's theme for a good long while.
Work.
I am your father's mom calling.
We did get a very generous super chat here from
gosh, thank you.
the user currently known as Yarnstead. Again, if you're just tuning in, there's something going on with the YouTube usernames today, so we apologize if it's someone that we're very familiar with. Star Wars has natural settings on planets with great sounds like ocean, forest, animal noises, leaves, and also the use of minimal or absent sound like when droids in A New Hope on Tatooine. Just back from camping, so thinking a lot about Endor Forest. Jen, you've, I think, done more camping than any of us in the last 20 years. 40 for me, I think. Any camping sounds? Any forest? I was going to say there's a reveal of what you did on the weekend on the news show tomorrow. We won't spoil that, but
oh yeah. No, but now that I'm thinking, I'm going to be going camping again. Not in the redwoods, a local camping spot. But now I'm going to set my alarm to be the Ewok sound of the.
Oh, perfect.
That would be hilarious. It will crack me up and no one else.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I can go to any place that is, Endor, like I'm lucky to go to Sequoia National Forest a couple years ago, and there's a place in LA that we mention fairly often called Descanso Gardens that has a lot of different natural areas, and one of them is the Ancient Forest, which is like Endor meets Twin Peaks, and I absolutely love it. But the sound that sticks in my head is it's peaceful sound, but it's used for mystery. It's in intrigue and stress when they're on Endor and they're trying to decide to figure out where the shots are coming from, and the sound mix bumps up all of those natural sounds, I think, to make you feel like what's lurking under this bed of natural noise that the forest is making. So I think that's a really cool moment of sound design that I think about.
Is Descanso the one you were talking about? But they for the holiday one, they'd like a choir of elves singing or something. You couldn't tell what was real, what was not.
Yeah, I mean, they do a Halloween event and a holiday event called Enchanted Forest, and they put up so many lights, and it's so dark out. That it's an entirely different experience. And yeah, when you go into the Ancient Forest, sometimes they'll just have, weird light installations, or they'll have a choir. They had for a while in the whole park, like a soundscape that somebody had designed. And that was a place I heard Star Wars in real life. Cause like I walked in Ancient Forest and I was like, I think I hear the Emperor's theme. And it was just a note that sounded like that on this soundscape that was supposed to be peaceful, but it didn't feel peaceful.
That's great. One time at Huntington Gardens, they had a display where you could you were picking up sounds from satellites or space or something. It was this big, wonderful art display, and that had total Star Wars vibes. Like even sounds that you don't hear in the movies, like Torn Far sitting there in Hoth picking up, sounds of the Empire approaching. Like it kind of connected in that way too.
Going back to Yarnstead's comment, I was just thinking about the sequence where Leia gives Wicket the little snack, and if I'm remembering correctly, it's such an intimate moment because you hear like the gnat sounds of I don't know, some sort of birds or something, the crunching of the leaves, digging into the sack. It's just all these little realistic sounds that make it such a sweet little moment.
Mm.
That makes me happy. I'm gonna go watch that scene.
Yeah.
That's got to be your ringtone, your wake up
That's
tone.
gotta yes, exactly.
The gentle murmur of the Ewoks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Oh well.
Oh yeah, Baritone Land. You need the song the Ewok building the fire under Han sings.
I really appreciated that more the last time I saw it. Well, when I saw Return of the Jedi at the Academy Museum, and seeing it in a different context with
Yeah.
no distractions makes you feel things differently.
Mhm.
That song is so funny. I've always been thinking about other things in that scene, and not just how funny it is that they're singing such a sort of little Disney song while they're preparing to roast this man alive.
And to me, it's like it's just a workaday world for the Ewoks. This is just he's happy doing his job. They caught another one. They're gonna feast tonight. Great, I love it. I love it.
I gotta share this. Dennis, Jurassic Park World is another great franchise with great sounds with a T-Rex roar and Velociraptor sounds. I am a huge Jurassic Park fan, and I hear those sounds, or I make those sounds a lot. The claws from the Velociraptors when they're going in the commissary, the kitchen, and you could hear like their claws on the floor. It's just great sound design.
Yeah, the very, very far away rumble of something big coming is so great in Jurassic Park.
And also Chihuahua like.
Big rumble. Amaranth says another wake up would be One Way Out.
That would work.
Maybe I'll set my alarm to just be Luthen saying I've made my mind a sunless space again and again.
What a way to wake up.
You should do an experiment. 1 week you do that kind of stuff, and then 1 week you do like more cheerful, happy sounds of Star Wars. Which motivates you more to wake up in the morning?
Yeah, I should experiment on myself. That's ethical. It's me. I get to decide.
Conduct a study with yourself.
Yes. But when sounds become something that is in your everyday life, then they change. Like you for a while, Jennifer, you were doing the show Happy Beeps, and we had our friend Tony Thaxton put together a song, and he made this great bop that used some of BB-8's beeps. And now every time I hear the specific one he used in the actual movie, I'm like, where's the rest of the song?
Right. Tony did a good job.
File up. I don't know where that file is anymore. I gotta grab it. It's a great one.
Ken, have you had anything like that where you've brought Star Wars sound or music into your real life in a way that's changed it then when you hear it in the film again?
Not off the top of my head. No, unless it's nothing that's a real sound. Again, I think I'm sound blind. I don't hear a lot of sounds in the real world. I'm trying to think. Great question. Come back to me. Back to me.
Jen, have you had music sort of changed by the way you have it in real life or sounds?
I mean, I think the cell phone thing for sure. Like I had the Tauntaun used to be my email alert. The Tauntaun sound. And then obviously the Imperial March, like I said. I had Jabba's laugh at one point for someone. But now I don't, my phone is always silent. So
it sounds, we keep, I entered into the conversation. It sounds depressing until you're in Walmart and your mom's phone goes off because your dad's calling and the entire store hears, it ain't nothing but your husband calling on the phone. And you're like, Mom, we don't do that anymore. Society's moved on from this. Don't do that.
My fellow Doctor Who fan, Dennis Gill, says the TARDIS materialization sound is my ringtone. And I believe Dennis was talking earlier in the chat about how great the Doctor Who sound effects are. They are. They're a slightly different tone than Star Wars, but I would be curious how much of a reference point it was for Ben Bird. I think if it was an inspiration, he would have just said so. But like, so much of what he did in Star Wars and in his career was a response to the Hollywood system uses canned sound, and a gunshot is one of these, however many they had, 100 gunshots or whatever, and that's where the Wilhelm scream came from. As this is one of our screams. But Doctor Who was, in a different market, a different process, and so like if they got lazy, there'd be a similar blaster, but the Cybermen did not sound the same as the Sontarans, did not sound the same as the Daleks. There's a real uniqueness to it. So even if people don't like Doctor Who, I think it's worth a fun. If you like sound, it's worth a fun YouTube search to just hear Doctor Who sounds.
Have we ever identified the new Wilhelm scream that was going to be in Star Wars? Remember, they kind of said, we're not going with that. We're going to go with something new. Did we ever identify that?
I think we did figure out a place that we thought it was, and I think there have been a couple confirmations from Matthew Wood. I think some other people have been. Is it in this moment? So I think I remember knowing moments where it was, but I'm not at the point I was with the Wilhelm scream where I could hear it, you know? And I think they picked something much subtler. So like this in joke is going to stay in for a while.
Yeah. Amaranth says, I think it's the guy getting blown away in Bad Batch.
Yes. Oh, and I didn't know this. So Svetnik says, I know that the new Wilhelm is a recording of George doing his version of the Wilhelm.
Interesting.
I want that to be true.
So Matt Wood said on stage this weekend, no one has found it yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
interesting.
Then I am incorrect.
I remember having some of the conversations around it, but then to me, it's a fun game, but I would want it to be a little more noticeable so we can also say, hey, we have our new Scream.
Right.
I mean, Star Wars was the place I learned of that Scream, so there's a tradition there.
I think they should bury it in there. It is loud, especially in like some of the Indiana Jones moments. It's like, yep, there it is.
There it is. There you go. Oh, Svedek says, I asked my wife's cousin who works at Skywalker Sound about it, and that's what she told me. All right.
Excellent.
I trust it.
Love it. Love it. Nice to know the sourcing. Brent Bum standing by says, my notification is the Star Tours chime. Hey, that is a happy Star Wars sound.
That's a good sound.
Love that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That is great.
I like that one there. We got Andy as Sarlacc belching. Anyone? Any bidders on this? The Opie farts. Anyone? George and his sounds.
Do you know George made all those sounds?
George made. Hey Ben, open up the studio this weekend. I want to record some sounds.
Just coming back from Sabaros and I'm ready.
Oh no!
Sarlacc sound.
Oh no!
Beautiful.
Yeah. Betty Morner says this about general music talk. Finding out the theme at the end of Phantom Menace is just the Emperor's theme in major key blew my mind. It hasn't made me happy since. No, yeah, okay, I get it. I get what you're saying. It's
I agree with that.
Pretty amazing.
That's one of the first things when you kind of uncover that for us in 99, where the ending of that film, despite criticisms that were being tossed at it every day like grenades in a war, was like, I was like, no, there's some more going on here, and it's this foreboding sense of what's coming down the line. Love that ending. So I love that music. Good call, Maddie.
It is great. Anything else that either of you are wanting to share?
This one, Marjo. During Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, when Thundercat is doing mod work, that sound was, I'm assuming, metal. I love that whole sequence, and I do remember the sound design. There was like some music going on. Now I want to rewatch it. That was. I really wish that we could have more of that. Not in a Book of Boba Fett season 2, but maybe elsewhere. A mod movie. Can you imagine the uproar?
I was total random conversation. I was after my show last night. I was talking with one of my friends. His son's like 17, 18, and was talking about he's like, my son wants to get like cybernetic implants and everything, and not in a reference to Star Wars, and not that it's an actual option, but just he and his friends were talking about, oh, I'd probably get my eyes replaced, and I was like, oh, the mods are real. The mods are going to happen, and then everyone will go, oh, Book of Boba Fett was right. Mod said something too.
And hopefully they'll market the scooters and I can buy one.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry if I bring one up that we brought already. Cam's 20th Century Fox music. As a kid, associated the 20th Century Fox music with part of Star Wars to this day just makes me feel a certain happy way, as if a kid getting to pop one of if I was a kid getting to pop on one of the films. I absolutely agree with that. It's they could bring back the fanfare and I'd be really happy. It was definitely something I thought was only in Star Wars when I was about 7 or 8, but it totally works to set you up on the great adventure you're about to go on. It really does have that effect. So maybe that's what the wake up is, Jen.
Maybe. People always cheer. I mean, maybe it happens in Marvel movies too, but when you hear that, when you see that, and then it goes into the Lucasfilm logo with, the little, whatever they do, the light, the green, the magic, whatever it is. And people go nuts every time. That really says something.
This one of my, I really agree with that. And I think that was a common thing for certainly our generation. I won't speak for younger generations that associated that with Star Wars and would have the the mixed emotions, being so happy to hear it. And then when it's not Star Wars,
it's such a letdown.
It's such a letdown. As a student of live audiences and how many applause can you get out of them, I always love that there's too many applause points at the beginning of a new Star Wars, especially in the prequels. It was the 20th Century Fox logo. Oh, it's this a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Oh, it's the time.
Yep. Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
three big breaks.
Do you think that the fanfare for the Disney Plus shows on Star Wars will, eventually hold a similar kind of spot in people's hearts of it is the sound of Star Wars coming along?
I think it will eventually. It works a little for me now. I like the sequence, all the helmets and everything. It even gets to that point where the opening up the Disney Plus app has its own kind of here we go. So it does work. It's not as classic as a fanfare, but even that was just corporate branding. So I have faith it's probably out there.
Yeah. General Cameroni says, it already almost does for me. I've come to expect it at this point. Yeah. I would love a sort of a replacement for the films, or maybe even using the same streaming thing. I don't know if they want to have the television movie, but there is something. I know people are mentioning the Fantastic Four and Marvel is switching up what they've done, but that Marvel fanfare really started to have a great emotional effect on me. Yeah, and especially the first film I saw in the theater after the lockdown phase of the pandemic, that people went nuts for the Marvel fanfare the way they used to go nuts for the 20th Century Fox.
That's fascinating. Having just watched the 2005 Fantastic Four, it still got kind of the Marvel, and you forget, that's not just something that's recent or tied to Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
it was kind of a fun, but also kind of but this is going to go different than that other film. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I thought of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dennis Gill also says, speaking of kaiju, the Zillo Beast is underrated. Remember hearing that, and you have to cover your ears in pain. Yeah, it's great sound design.
Again, Chihuahua-like. It's all coming back to Chihuahua. I got obviously I spent all these time with my backyard squirrels, but that one sound I've picked up when it's a warning, when there's a cat in the yard, or maybe even bee, it's very Ewok-like. It feels like it belongs in Endor, that there's some communicating going on that I don't quite understand. I just know danger is afoot.
Any other favorite sounds for you, Ken, that you would maybe want to hear in the real world? Oh, you got a question.
Oh, I had to put this one up. I'm sorry.
This would be it, Jed. Boss Nass doing the face shake sound lives free in my head. Absolutely does. That and Planet Core are forever in my brain.
So good.
The Planet Core sounding like, how did he suddenly become Dracula?
Yes.
How did he suddenly become Bela Lugosi? It's always been entertaining.
Boss Nass is just he's
So funny.
Yeah, Boss Nass is just he's dramatic. He plays to the moment. I respect his gig and I love it. Just is like, I'm gonna really scare them. That Planet Core.
Ooh, I can't even do it.
Is a Boss Nass face shake a reference to Nixon?
To like the laugh-in version of Nixon? Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Excellent cultural reference there, right? Yeah. God bless Brian Blessed. It might have just been a thing of Brian Blessed did, because you never know what that man's gonna do. Man.
Yep.
And I just keep imagining Boss Nass shaking his head and saying actual Dracula dialogue.
Yep. Bjornstad often thinks of Jar Jar's morning munchies. I think.
I like this from Maddie Morner. At the risk of sounding sacrilegious, are there any themes you would like to hear a modern update on? Like a remix or even different instrumentation, or Ken?
Like a Kevin Kiner version, like a Kiner family. Like, he took that main theme and updated it very well in Clone Wars. And I remember at first being like, no, sacrilegious. And it's awesome. I love that version. So maybe a new version of the Force theme or something. I could be down with that.
Shoot. Now I can't find it. There was one that I had that was so good. It's the Binary Sunset. I used it in one of my videos. I danced to it, and I can't remember who did it. It was a remix. It was just so good. Darn it. I'll have to find it.
Dig.
Yeah, I think I think as new films come out, I think if it's appropriate to use a theme, like I think, if there's a force sensitive person in Starfighter, a different take on the Binary Sunset would be really interesting to me, but I'd want it to be a different take. So it is those notes, but really reinterpreted. I always bang on about liking the combination of new and old in Star Wars, and I think finding a way to use something old but make it new again is great for Star Wars. Yeah,
absolutely. The solo adding some guitars into and little different things, and those are new music. But yeah, I that's why I bring up the Kiner thing. I credit Kiner and his family for what they're able to do with classic themes and really make them their own, but just immediately feel classic. Love that.
Yeah.
Coyote Kisses. That's who it was. Coyote Kisses. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yes, Neon.
Like the Amos has 1,000,001 versions. Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't recognize myself. I was, too caught up in the narrative. I didn't recognize how much they were reusing it until I saw people discussing it online. So it fooled me.
It's a good one. Put it to good use. Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah. Force theme on electric guitar, Superman 2025 style, says Svetnik. Very cool. Yeah. Any other sound thoughts from you, Ken?
No, I love all the sounds. Maybe I take them too much for granted, clearly, but great thoughts today as Star Wars meets the real world.
And any final sound thoughts from you, Jennifer?
No, we didn't even get into the Wookiees, which I saw someone mention that. Anytime like my kids are like gargling water, which they like to do, right? Just immediately my brain, I think of a Wookiee, and then I try and do it and fail miserably.
Have you ever heard your Wookiee sound?
It's not good. I can't do it.
Can
you just not produce?
It's pretty good.
That's like
look. There are a lot of
wounded.
There's a difference between a Chewbacca sound and a Wookiee sound.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
Yes.
That's I think you were making the sound of a Wookiee having tech issues.
Yes. Frustrated Wookiee.
Like a Wookiee being forced to update their data pad.
There we go. There we go. Qui-Gon's Noble Ad Niyamas remix. I definitely take that, David.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yep. That's great. Yeah. This has been a very fun conversation and a very lively chat. Thank you for everybody sharing their thoughts and their favorites. I got to work on some sound design. So this has been very inspiring.
There you go. There you go. Well, we're signing out for today. Thanks for all of you watching live. Thanks for super chats, likes and comments and all those good things as we continue to grow here on ForceCenter. 10 plus years. And we've got the news episode tomorrow talking about the Matt Smith casting ? And some fun Star Wars questions. So we'll see you all soon there. You can follow us on social media at ForceCenter Pod. Don't forget, we are now on TikTok. If you prefer getting short form videos over there, you can find us at ForceCenter Show on TikTok. And we appreciate those who are finding us there, interacting and all that good stuff there. You can get merch at TeePublic or Fourth Wall links down below. Join our Patreon page at patreon.com/ForceCenter to get into our Discord and discuss more Star Wars sounds. Follow me at Ken Knapsack for all your updates on all the other things I do, including my show, The Blathering Live. Jen, where can they find and follow you?
Someone's mentioning Ben Burt. Yes, he is a hero of the franchise, Igor. You can find me on all the social media sites at Jennifer Landa or TikTok at Jennifer Landa 1138.
There you go. Joseph, take us home. Thank you, sir, for guiding us through and let us have some fun with the sound question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the great question. And you can find me on all the social media at Joseph Scrimshaw, and you can visit my website, josephscrimshaw.com, to keep up with everything I'm working on. In particular, right now, I'm going to have to take a week off from ForceCenter next week because I have lots of post-production work to do on the film, including making sound. So thank you to everyone who's been so supportive of that adventure.
There you go. All right. We'll be back news tomorrow, next week, live on Monday as well. We'll see you then right here on ForceCenter. Bye.